Scale Akuta. Akuta scaling begins with the first level of the computer gods, who possess the ability to create universes and contemplate infinities of unlimited density. This directly represents George Cantor's theory of cardinal numbers by balancing countable infinity against uncountable infinity, reflecting a mathematical density that transcends the scope of ordinary dimensions and elevating him to high 1b+, where the densities multiply from Aleph 0 to Aleph 1, Aleph 2, and beyond. Akuta gains his power at this level after removing the restrictions of mana, represented by Peterhausen's power, allowing him to completely crush the computer. Gods! The faceless power further supports this level by being an infinite source of energy that surpasses conventional mana and is equivalent to the power of awakened demon kings. The scaling then moves to the other world, which represents a logical and contemplative level that exists above the main story through successive layers and forms the logical space of all possible worlds. Since Akuta possesses absolute dominion within the other world and has the ability to create, alter, and destroy all logically possible worlds, including infinite hierarchies of stories that represent a 1A+ structure, this allows him to completely transcend the 1A+ framework and reach high 1A. He reduces all narrative chains to tiny fragments within his own possibilities and even dismantles the structural concept of stories themselves, transforming them into a state of chaos and nihilism before the existence of organized reality. This transcendence is further reinforced by the presence of the archetypal gods, or god universes such as the Void Universe, the Faceless Universe, the Gravity Universe, and the Anti-Gravity Universe. These represent the archetypes of existence before it became separated and differentiated. Akuta can summon and reshape them as part of his own stories, proving his transcendence over the archetypal gods, which themselves are entities beyond the limits of 1A+. Thus, Akuta reaches the rank of high 1A as the embodiment of the end of stories, existing as a prior and absolute truth beyond completed reality. Not to mention his vast array of extraordinary resistances and immunities, including absolute resistance to mind manipulation, resistance to extrasensory perception, resistance to gravitational pressure, resistance to hypnosis and magic, resistance to sound and vibration manipulation, resistance to soul manipulation, resistance to illusions and death manipulation, resistance to spatial manipulation, plasma, radiation effects, and supernatural heat in outer space, as well as resistance to existence erasure, law manipulation, fate manipulation, absorption, and temporal framing. He also possesses complete resistance to outer gods and plot manipulation, alongside absolute immunity to soul manipulation, because his soul exists in a conceptual form that cannot be affected by digitization, and complete immunity to story and plot manipulation due to existing outside the scope of narrative. He also possesses omnipresence within the other world. Type 4 and Type 5 non-determinism, as his void-like body transcends the system of causality, along with faster-than-light speed, history manipulation, reality reconstruction, and all forms of immortality, including conceptual immortality and immunity to death through the law of identity. He also possesses Type 9 immortality, because he exists as a true self beyond all of his incarnations and borrowed bodies within stories. Therefore, Akuta primarily scales to high 1A, high outer versal, because he transcends all narrative structures and cardinal number structures associated with 1A+, surpasses the archetypal forms of existence, and possesses abilities and characteristics that allow him to approach Tier 1T transcendental, due to his connection to all logically possible worlds, and his complete transcendence of the framework of logic and comprehensive narratives.